there is a significant consequence when it comes to hanging around individuals that you know is full of anger, jealousy, envy, and just negativity in general. In life, everything is about energy, whether you want to be honest with yourself or not, right? You feel things, you have emotions, you're a human being. Unfortunately, these feelings don't separate people out of labels, right? So you might have a family member who's your family member, you knew them for a long time, or even a friend that can make you feel some of these emotions, such as shame, fear, negativity, envy, jealousy. The unfortunate situation that I'm going to speak about is people being filled with these emotions, these negative perspectives, these negative ways of looking at life towards you, right? And I'm a product of this. I've had a lot of individuals in my life that was filled with a lot of hurt, jealousy, anger, despair, and that was projected onto me, which before I realized it in the moment, it influenced a lot of my choices and actions as an individual in this lifetime, right? Now, I'm not saying I don't ever feel like I ever had a period where I was jealous or envious of someone. I felt like if anything with me, I was very disappointed and discouraged before in my own life, because I know that I had strengths and I had certain skill sets to put me in certain rooms that I know I deserve to be in, which eventually I'm still working towards, and I was able to get in certain rooms, but this is something that pollutes the world. I feel like, especially with a lot of people that are struggling, they're going through trials and tribulations, they might not understand that if they are going through something, maybe that's to help them become better, but everything is about perspective in life. In life, if you don't have a perspective where it's a non-victim, you will always lose. And the reason why I say that is because life happens for you, doesn't happen to you, right? We all have our strengths and weaknesses. We all have our trials and tribulations and things we learn from, right? Think about a significant time in your life where you learned a lot. Like you learned the most, you learned about heartbreak, you learned so much about life. 9 times out of 10, it's when something negative has happened or something that you will consider hurt or trauma, etc., right? And that is the point. I'm not saying we're here to struggle and just always go through things, but I feel like when that does occur, you have to switch your perspective, right? If you're an individual who you don't consider yourself a jealous or envious person, the people that maybe if you have friends or family, usually these people are very stagnant in life, right? They talk a lot about the past and they talk a lot about things that could have been, right? I should have did this. I could have been this. I could have did that. These are the most poisonous people to be around. Granted, they're still human beings. They still have emotions. They still have feelings. But energy is very contagious. And if you allow someone that's not in tune with themselves positively, intuitively, intrinsically, you will allow that energy to be on you, which will make your life stagnant. You won't have a lot of things changing in your life. And that's no coincidence, Life is about being around individuals or peers that's aligned with your purpose, people that's aligned with your growth as an individual. I can only imagine if someone's that's trying to hit the gym, improve, have this improvement in their own life. Imagine they're getting around someone who don't look at life like that. It's all about just chilling and, being relaxed, not really taking the initiative to change something in their life. Bro, you're going to be just like that. Especially if you're around that person. And I'm making these videos because I care about a lot of things that's really happening in life instead of like on social media. These conversations you can't really find on the Twitter or Instagram. You're not gonna find it like that. A lot of these algorithms that we live in now is promoting negativity for you to be depressed. If you align yourself with the notion that you could do anything and that you're positive and you deserve a better life, I have not seen nobody that has worked hard consistently with that mindset that hasn't been able to grasp what they want in life. The universe blesses you if you want to bless yourself. You have to have the pre-notion that you're different, because you are different. Like belief itself as far as the human existence is correlated. They made us with this mindset of not being able to believe that we can achieve things, not being able to believe we can own a house, etc. These are literally algorithm mindsets that's being inputted into our brain, without us realizing it, by doom scrolling or looking at a lot of negativity on social media. It's not promoting positivity. It's not promoting that we can obtain things, right, or become better people. It's made for you to overthink and be in a jealous, envious spirit. Social media shows other people's lives. It shows other people having the nice times on the trips and yachts. Don't be that. Don't be influenced by that. Don't feel like you have to compete with that or compare to that, because you don't. Life itself is merely about your own solely existence, and what it is that you do to make you happy. The more you stop looking at social media and you start looking at it with a perspective that, hey, this is me, I only care about where I'm going in life, and the people that is aligned with that, they can be around me, bro, you will succeed. I don't want to be on the fear mongering or what they be saying, like the doom and doom gloom and whatever. But I would say, man, I don't think social media is going to be the same in the next 5 years. I just don't. I just think it's going to be a lot of changes, which we're already seeing, but I think it's going to be very catering and consumer based. So if you want something that you want to feed into your beliefs and you want to tell yourself is real, that's exactly what social media is going to do to you. If you believe that maybe the sky is green, you're going to believe that, but I just think as long as you're allowing yourself to be 100% the best version of yourself, you can only grow, you can only excel in life. And you have to protect your energy and make sure that you're always growing to a point where you see yourself elevating, excelling. Don't care about any haters or anybody that's negative or anybody that's spreading negativity, because usually these people will stay stagnant for the rest of their life. But I love y'all, man. I just want to come out here and talk, to you guys on the camera. I got another video coming, but yeah, man, I come out here, I get this nice weather. It's quiet, it's peaceful, it's away from a lot of people. I mean, you still see people walking their dogs, but even that itself is seclusion from the crazy chaotic world. And but I love y'all, man. Make sure y'all take care of yourself. I'm out.